Good morning, dieharders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? Right here on the S&W EXPerience podcast. I am your host, the Shogun. And I'm once again joined by my good friend Syxx on S&W EXPerience episode 58. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like a jacket with like the logo on it, but like, dude.
Yeah, like you'd think that they put more effort into making it, but no, they didn't.
Yeah, with Batman, it's like armor and shit, so like, there's a huge difference
like
there.
You look at the DCEU budget, because essentially, right, what Batwoman is, it's supposed to be a TV vehicle for a main theatric thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like WandaVision. WandaVision was a vehicle, it was like a vehicle-driven type of narrative that is within the MCU, but it's in the TV.
Yeah.
It's in the DCEU, or whatever it's become now. Because and whatnot, which is not DCEU, so it's DCE Multiverse. I don't know, DCEM. I have no idea. The DC Extended Multiverse. Let's just call it that. It's fine. So obviously, it's two things that they canceled: the show and the movie that was supposed to come out in due process.
Yep.
But like, I don't understand why.
I think it's a case that, it's too small for a theatrical release, but like too big for TV. You know, like.
But the thing is, like, also as well, how do they know that? Because Doctor Strange was the shortest Marvel movie by far, like by a long stretch. It was the shortest Marvel movie. And no one's even close.
Which one is
You know?
It's strange, you know?
So even if the movie would have been like an hour and a half, give us that hour and a half.
Yeah.
They really hate anything Batman related that might have a sense of continuity.
It's definitely,
They really do hate continuity.
it's messed up, dude. Like, dude, our timeline is so weird, man. Just everything is getting delayed. You notice, like, they were like, Warner Brothers, Aquaman and Black Adam might get pushed back. And
Yep.
now they just, like, canceled Batgirl and, like, what's left? Well, but The Flash is going ahead of schedule.
What's left is like the Flash and Aquaman. And Shazam, I guess. And Black Adam. 4 movies. Shazam, Black Adam, Aquaman, Flash. 4 movies left in the entire universe.
Yeah. They haven't, like, it bugs me like they haven't announced anything new outside of what's already exists.
Then where do you think the future of the Supergirl movie lies? It's also cancelled.
Yeah, that's also canceled.
It makes sense. Like, it's also cancelled. I mean, why wouldn't it be cancelled at this point? It's clearly they don't care. Like, they don't really give like a fuck about these characters and whether or not they'd be squandering them by not using them. They simply don't give a fuck about them.
The thing is, like, Superwoman is in The Flash. You know, like, we saw, like, the costume that they had made. So, like, if her movie's canceled, like, what does that mean for the character in the movie? Like,
Things are what?
huh?
Things are what?
I mean, in the Flash, the upcoming Flash movie, there's a female, like, Superman. The Superwoman is there. So if her movie is cancelled, what does that mean for that character?
Yeah, you were saying?
I'm saying, like, what does that mean for that character? You know, like, if their movie gets cancelled, does that mean, like, oh, they're just going to be a one-off in this Flash project and then we'll never see them again?
I have no idea, because, you know, honestly, obviously, you have the fact that it's a, what do you call it? Yeah, the fact that this movie is set to reboot certain elements of the universe, obviously element, and of course with that, you have the fact that it's going to be the new slate. This movie's ending and what it does and what it removes and deletes from history is going to be the new continuity. And like obviously as per reports, leaks and whatnot, a lot of that is Batwoman and Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and just those characters remaining as the new Justice League. However, you still have a lot of the Cavill-centric characters, which at this point are essentially gone. Your Batman, your Superman and Henry Cavill, your just a lot of it has been removed from the continuity.
Basically, the Snyderverse. They're just shit-canning the Snyderverse, basically.
So, I think even though this character isn't getting a movie anymore, she's still going to stay. She's still gonna stay, but it simply won't be the same. Like, it won't be how we think it is. Like, it won't be in the way that we thought that she would be in the universe. It's in a completely different way.
It freaking sucks, man.
You get me?
Yeah, I get you. It's pretty freaking ridiculous. Just
yeah, it really is unfortunate. Because they're cancelling things that have no business to be cancelled and leaving things that would make sense to cancel.
yeah. It still bugs me.
It only shows their sexism, honestly.
Yeah. But you remember at like that Comic-Con, they asked The Rock, like, hey, are there any plans to have Black Adam fight Superman? And he was like, you know, he'd be down for it, but he wouldn't know if it was going to be the Henry Cavill Superman. And he got booed. Like, the dude got booed when he said that. Like,
So yeah, kind of.
So did you hear that? Apparently,
What you might have, is Henry Cavill, a body double, still appearing in the universe in smaller roles just before the Flash resets. And with that, I also open up the suit again. Because it would make sense to have the universe reset and certain things would be the same.
man, I really hope they cut that shit out, man. It's getting old.
Yeah, because for me, what I don't get is the fact that the Flash is going to premiere before all these other films. Right?
Yep.
Now, with that, you would expect that would mean that whatever universe resetting happens prior to the events of the other movies, correct? I honestly have an answer to that.
Probably why it's coming out first. Which is probably why it's coming out first, so.
That's what I don't get, because I guess seemingly by that logic, it would mean that everything that happens in Aquaman 2 and what's this? Aquaman 2 and Black Adam. It means that whatever happens at that point in those movies is a reset universe timeline. I think it would mean that. For haven't seen the JS, you wonder to yourself, why do they even? Maybe that could simply mean that in this new post-Flashpoint universe, you have the JSA having been formed in the 1940s, and you have them in tandem with Justice League. Because we've never gotten any indications that the JSA ever existed, because Wonder Woman was actually alive during that point, had never interacted with any other messages other than Ares in the fighting forces.
And you think she would have?
What that means?
You think Wonder Woman would at least mention them when Bruce was like, "Oh, we need to find the other metahumans"? Do you think she'd have pointed out like, "I know a couple"? Like,
at this point, I do not think that Wonder Woman has a history or even knows about the JSA. But that can mean that the JSA is part of a new continuity where Wonder Woman actually has history with them. But now, we're going to see that play out after the Flash resets everything. And it's only then we will truly appreciate the fact that there's now a new canon that begins with Wonder Woman, continues with the JSA, and possibly has more stories in the future. Since Dr. Fate is an old man, which gives him a timeline of around 30 years being a superhero and stuff like that. 30 years, give or take, depends where he started. He could start in the 80s, 90s, whatever it is. But we clearly have a history now. We have a timeline of characters that stretches back into never before existing, events in the DCEU. Because the only met at that point, when the DCEU first started, the only metas was Superman and potentially a Martian. And then with that, you have Batman. But Batman's no meta. I mean, by real life comparison, he is, because he's pretty much a super soldier, given all his feats. But Batman is a regular man, so we're led to believe that Kal-El existing in this world, he's the first prominent meta-human. But now, clearly, in this world, that won't be the case, since people like Dr. Fate, Adam Crusher, and Hawkman exist, and they fight crime publicly. Because I think Hawkman even says, like, you're supposed to be a hero. Heroes don't do what you're doing. And then, like Adam retorts, I'm not a hero. But they're clearly in public saving the day like soups do in fiction. You know, it's very rare these days where you have characters just saving the day regularly.
yeah.
And that's what that team was doing in the Black Adam trailer. So that to me feels like a new continuity where these are public heroes and public figures who stop crime on a regular basis, just like the Justice League does in animation.
Yeah. We didn't really get a whole lot of that back in early days of DCEU. We didn't get a whole lot of that because we only saw Superman when it was like a world-ending threat, and we only saw Batman in like BVS. So yeah,
there was very little. What do you call this? Saving. Honestly.
Yeah.
There was very little saving.
Yeah, for a supposed team of heroes, they didn't really save a whole lot of people, you know, just...
Exactly.
Even in Suicide Squad, with, like, the Flash's cameo, yeah, he stopped a bank robbery, but, like, that's it. And... Yeah.
Like, it's so bland and boring.
Yeah, like... You bring in the Flash to stop a bank robbery? Like, don't you have cops? Like, just... Dude.
Bro, you literally have cops.
Yeah. Well, with even the squad, even Suicide Squad themselves, you know, they weren't saving the day. I mean, they were stopping Enchantress, but, like, who did they save doing that? Like, because those people were already turned.
Not sure,
I mean, yeah.
You were saying?
You notice how the events of Suicide Squad never get brought up at all, dude. Like seriously, a whole town got turned into like weird pod people and just nothing.
Yeah.
Dude.
Even the fact that the other one is just like there's no mention about Starro invading Earth. It's pretty much like the Eternals. Like you would think for a universe that certain events would be referenced in order to make the universe feel more cohesive. You know, the Netflix shows did an excellent job of that by constantly referencing things like the incident, which is the Avengers movie and whatnot. But it's the fact that they have not once in any Phase 4 film mentioned the incident, which is the Eternals, and the fact that there's a huge fucking statue just all the way here. They don't reference it. They don't care.
It's fucking sad, man. Like, just, dude. Unless the only tangible reason I can think of is that Eternals takes place after all this stuff, like after Spider-Man, after Multiverse of Madness, and that's why they don't bring it up. That's the only explanation, is because in those movies it hasn't happened yet. But even that's kind of like...
we know exactly when we know exactly when the movies take place. Yeah. These movies have been put in order on Disney Plus, and we know that the Shang-Chi happens after, not even after, more like before nearly same time, like Civil War and Black Panther. Because in the post-credits, they're speaking about the emergence, which has triggered certain events on Earth to happen. We know where it fits in the world, but the fact that they just haven't not mentioned it, even though it's a pretty important thing to mention, is pretty weird. It's just, it's very weird why they have not mentioned it.
It's also further evidence that Wong, as Sorcerer Supreme, is kind of bad at his job, dude. Like, dude.
Yeah, but I don't understand why Strange has been stripped of it. And I get it, he was gone for 5 years.
But he's back now.
Still, exactly. Like, to me, it feels like they just took that title from him for the sake of taking it. Like, it had no significance, you know. If T'Challa was snapped, which of course he was, would there be a new intermittent Black Panther ruler during those 5 years? Yes. But as soon as Chadwick returns post-snap, would he not assume the role of king? Yes, he would, which is exactly what happened in Endgame. He resumed his duties as king. I mean, we didn't get a whole scene dedicated to it, but we saw that little flash during Tony's monologue and the fact that he's back in Wakanda, he's back in his kingdom, and he's happy again.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Strange come back and be Sorcerer Supreme? Because the ancient one literally says, Strange is meant to be the best of us. Like, he's meant to be the best of them. He was always meant to be the Sorcerer Supreme. And I don't understand why no one realized that at no single point was he ever named Sorcerer Supreme. People called him that, but he had never called himself that.
Yeah.
So it stands to question if he ever was. If the title was always open, but he just never really had that ceremony to become one.
Yeah.
I guess he was too busy with saving the world. It makes me think that he never got to have that ceremony.
Yeah, we definitely need a moment.
Yeah. So I guess he never became one after all.
Yeah,
Just weird.
It's bizarre, man. The sad state of affairs that is Phase 4, dude. As a whole, Phase 4 has been kind of mid. Would you agree with that statement?
I'm so sorry to say this, but not even a good Spider-Man movie can prevent this. But Phase 4 is very mid. It's very, very mid. We have 3 movies mid. You have Doctor Strange, you have Eternals, just like Doctor Strange, Thor and Eternals are mid. But I would still watch certain movies more in terms of replay value as opposed to Thor. I would not watch Thor again.
Yeah.
Like, of course I'll download it as like an HD copy, but it's purely to add to the connection. I won't watch it. I won't watch it at all.
You think that the Marvel movies losing that connectedness to each other is what's affecting them? And
The cohesive, yeah, I think because it's tough to have cohesion when you're trying to do some cosmic elements and earth elements. It's hard for the plots to coagulate properly. It's not easy.
yeah. And the movies themselves being isolated stories instead of leading to a bigger thing. Yeah, that's hampered.
Exactly. Not everything is a setup for the next movie, for the next big movie. Not everything is a setup.
Yeah.
So I think we have to understand that.
We're in a weird phase, dude. Like, Marvel is mid. DC is all over the place. Like, what is going on? Just, I don't know, but with, I don't know what to say, man.
Just exactly. I get that.
Yeah.
What do you say, indeed? What do you say?
It's just, all I can think is, like, how did we get here, man? How did we go from the highs of, like, Endgame and No Way Home to just looking back and going, man, this phase has been fucking mid. Just,
Dude, I think it comes with audacity as well, you know. Definitely comes with audacity. It's like, what is Marvel currently audacious enough to do versus how the public reacts to that?
yeah.
Like, you look at the Eternals. The Eternals was audacious as fuck, let's be honest.
Yeah. They really tried
It
to
wasn't a
stray
good
from
movie,
that
but it
formula.
was audacious. It was high concept. They were trying to deal with many things and purpose and belonging and creation and life and sanctity. There's many elements in Eternals, but a lot of that gets lost when your movie isn't very cohesive. A lot of it.
I feel like they really shouldn't have tried this out with such a high concept idea, you know, straying from the Marvel form. Because Eternals strays from, like, the typical Marvel formula. I feel like they should have tested that out on a smaller scale before going this high concept to see if it would work. Yeah, like, I don't know, have an episode of What If that's not quite like a Marvel TV show, and you're like, okay, did people respond well to that? If the answer is yes, then we
What
can...
if?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can do anything with What If. It's a What If thing. Just have a What If episode that isn't like any of the others and see if people like it. That way, you know how you go with, like, more audacious films and such.
True.
Also, it would have been an interesting way to, like, tease the Eternals, because Eternals isn't connected to anything at all.
Yeah, like they have these petty connections with like Thor, which is not even good enough. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's hardly a good like it's not connecting in the slightest. It's like, oh, when Thor was a kid, he used to watch me. Okay, I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me or you as a character.
Yeah.
It doesn't accentuate your characterization. So why am I being fed this bit of information? It does not do anything for your characterization.
Not to mention, it has nothing to do with the plot, so It's just
plot and characterization. It's like it's the worst of combos. Like, why are you giving me this when I don't even have that?
Not to mention the
Makes no sense.
just the end fight with what's the name, Mercury, I think her name was. That was good, but you know
What? The end fight?
the end fight amongst the Eternals fight Icarus. You know, like Mercury was using like her speed powers. That was good.
Dude, isn't that weird? Like that's the one element of that movie that we will always praise no matter what.
Yes, the one thing we
I
always
will
go back
praise
to.
that. You know what that fight reminds me of?
What?
Avengers 2012, there's that zoom-in shot, very quick zoom-in shot. If you blink, you miss it. Where Iron Man swoops down from the sky. He lands on like a bridge. Cap and Hawkeye are fighting on that bridge. And of course, at that point, Cap is CGI, so you can make him do whatever you want. And he's doing kick flips and jump kicks, something that S&W can't do. Like, he's acting like Captain America. He's super. And he's like throwing T'Challa around. He's like, he's like kicking him around. They're like nothing to him. And then Tony swoops down, and when he's down, he uses his repulsor beams to fire a ray that Cap then ricochets off his shield to blast the Chitauri, and then Iron Man flies away promptly after that. Like, it screams teamwork. Like, it's so clean. It's proper. It really is teamwork.
Not to mention it pays off a setup they had earlier when they were in the forest and like they were fighting there and like one of Tony's beams hit, like, you remember when like Thor hit the shield and it was like bah, and everything went like crazy for a second. It pays off like that scene where they fought in the woods. It shows like, okay, we learned from that, now let's use it here. It's just, not only is it cool, it also serves like the narrative. It shows like, hey, these people are paying attention to like the shit that happens.
Exactly.
But with the Eternals, there's really not a lot of like, you know, callbacks to earlier scenes or cohesion outside of like that team where they team up to fight Icarus. So just also, full honesty, man, I just think that having the emergence be the main, you know, thing at the end of Eternals was a mistake. The main villain should have been that
Celestial.
Yeah, no, not the Celestial. It should have been that thing that was absorbing the Eternals. That should have been the main bad guy. That should have been like, you know,
I don't know. I think it's because they seem too small. I think it would have been nicer and more compelling if those two creatures banded together. Not just the team leader as well, like the entire team bands together and they defeat this monstrosity. Or rather, at this point, they defeat the Celestial.
Yeah. To stop, you think having the emergence was the right call?
And not just the one that's in Earth, but also Arisham. Like, I would have loved that if now you have Arisham. And also you have actually, let's just do this. Harry's in the fucking movie. Let's put Harry in the fucking movie instead of a dumbest post-credit. Have Harry on set fighting. He's an Eternal. He's Eros. He's the brother of Thanos. He should be formidable.
Yeah.
Like, they're all just doing nothing. Like they're doing nothing at all. Like, it's nothing in service for the plot. You know?
Kumail Nanjiani bails halfway through. You remember that shit? He just bails. Like, what the fuck?
It feels like they didn't get him for the entire shooting run.
Jesus, dude.
And in order to like, you know, rationalize his exit, they filmed a quick scene where he's like, okay guys, I'm not gonna come with you and stop Icarus because I still have my loyalties to him. Bye. I feel like that was the last recorded Kumail scene. And that was just an excuse for him to be like, okay, he's gone because he's refusing to fight in the final battle. But in reality, Kumail Nanjiani he has wrapped up principal photography on his side.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they refused to pay for the other days when he shows up, you know.
I don't know, dude. It was so fucking silly.
In order to agree to a certain paycheck, maybe off the dangerous negotiations and them still getting nowhere, they said, okay, he'll be in this movie for this amount, but he won't be in the entire movie, which means you'll have to find a way to write him out at some point. And they said, okay, bet. So what I think happened is that Kamal, two things. He ran out of filming days because it was contractually stated how many days he'd have, because they didn't pay him enough for him to warrant being in the entire movie. So they have a couple of ending scenes, when the smallest Eternal becomes a human. They have that scene and the scene where he's like, okay guys, I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna be a neutral third party. I'm gonna be Italy in World War II. Things like that. So they probably didn't pay him enough.
Probably.
Which makes sense given that he's a color of actor.
Yeah.
He's an actor of color. Oh my god.
Hey, color of actor. Okay.
Hey, I'm thinking, what the hell did I just say? Color of actor. But yeah, you look at people like obviously Richard Madden has Game of Thrones behind him. Obviously, Kit and Richard Madden, they have their previous projects under their belts. They're insanely popular previous projects. But with Kumail, he's in a couple comedy movies. He's kind of there. He's doing Silicon Valley. He's doing things, but not huge things. So I think they definitely fucked him with the pay.
Yeah. Especially considering, he got in shape for this shit. Although, dude, looking back, did he do anything in the movie to warrant getting in shape for this?
He did nothing with this physique. It was horrible. It was disappointing. I thought they would have come out of it like a pod, like in Terminator or something, and they're naked and they empty the bodies. But no, they always have those CGI costumes. And those costumes are CGI. Like, what was the point? They basically paid him for 8 months to take steroids and get big. They paid him to do that. If someone paid to do that, I would do it as well.
Yeah.
I feel like with the Marvel contract, with every single Marvel contract, if you are a certain actor who's going to be a character in the future, part of your Marvel contract with the studio is to also have fitness training for free. It's part of your contract, which means Kumail didn't pay a single cent to the personal trainers, to the diets, to the drives, and the regimens. He paid nothing. It's part of the studio package. So I think he simply took advantage of it just to be fit.
Yeah.
Just to be fit.
And not everyone.
It's free, I might as well take it.
Yeah, you got free gym. Who's gonna turn down free gym, dude? Come on.
Exactly. And even above that, they're paying you to do it. Come on. Of course I'd go.
Shit, dog. I get it, but fuck, we didn't get one scene to justify this. This was just cosmetic. This was purely cosmetic.
And the thing is, you can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Just look at Hercules. He's in good shape. That's a good CGI in his fucking body. Let's pull a Natalie Portman. That nigga, he's mostly from Ted Lasso, right?
Yep.
That nigga's not buff. He's short. He has small shoulders.
You noticed they had to film him from a low angle just to
Bro, that
dude.
guy is less than the average man. Okay, Paul Rudd has broader shoulders than this man, who's apparently Hercules. Give me a fucking break. How could they? One of the worst concentrates I've ever seen.
Jesus,
Literally ever seen. I don't understand it.
God damn.
What do you think happened there?
I don't know, man. There's no way we can expect this man to get this buff in this amount of time. So let's CGI him now, so that later when he does get buff, we won't have to. I think that's what happened.
And of course, at this point, he's starting with his steroids right now.
Dude.
He's currently taking them.
Damn.
He's doing everything in his power.
Oh, dude. You know damn well he's doing that. Goddamn. Dude.
Oh, he's eating raw chicken breasts and broccoli as he speaks and taking steroids. He's locked in.
That Chris Hemsworth diet, man. Just.
And Chris locked in, eh?
He got
Because,
big.
he had a nice break during Endgame.
Yeah.
That was one movie where he didn't have to gym. So, he got a nice big break. But Marvel was like, okay, Chris, we'll give you a break. When you come back, just know, you're going to be the biggest you've ever been. And he was like, all right, bitch, sure, no problem. And look what he delivered.
Dude.
Took steroids for like 9 months and gyms for like a year.
Yeah. And now
progress, baby, results.
Yeah, man.
And now it's his turn. Yeah, you know what though? That does make sense because this guy, right? He wasn't part of the original cast. Like he wasn't part of the original release, the original announcements and slates. They added him like many months later.
Yeah. So it makes sense he ain't big.
I remember the articles. They were like, Ted Lasso star penned for Marvel role. And that was like many months after they started filming. After that and after it was announced. So he clearly had no time to get ripped. He clearly had no time. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Batman, Robert Pattinson. Like he didn't get that much time.
Yeah, but he was okay, dude. Like he was, in enough shape, that he could pass as Batman.
Yeah, he was in shape, but he wasn't buff. Like he was like TV anchor shape. He was like TV anchor in shape, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
The kind of shape a TV anchor would be. You know that he's not a sporty guy, so he's not that big, but he still has some considerable size to him.
Yeah.
That's like your Anchorman size.
Yeah, I remember when Chris Hemsworth was like getting back into shape for Thor 4. There was this announcement that he was gonna do a Hulk Hogan movie, and I was just like, really? Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, he's also doing that one as well. That's true.
That's a bit of a weird choice, though. I mean, I get it, but like, it's weird.
They simply see the body, which makes no sense as well, because Hulk was never ripped.
Yeah.
Like, Hulk was big, but he wasn't even like Mr. Olympia big. He wasn't that big.
Nah, he was just beefy, man. It was like, he was just roided up.
Exactly, so I don't understand why they're getting Hemsworth to play him. Like, Hemsworth he's overqualified for this role. He's overqualified.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's gymming even more on top of his current body, right? The fact that he's gymming more on top of his current body is very wild to me. His body will not look like Hulk Hogan, and it might just look like Arnie.
Yeah. But the question, but it kind of depends, like, which Hulk Hogan we're getting. Because if it's like 80s, when he was definitely juiced up, okay, I can see that. But like the 90s, he stopped. So, yeah, it's going to be concerning. Like, is he going to like keep that the whole movie? Or is he going to like shrink down?
And that's the thing, dog. That's what I'm saying. Like, Hulk was never, like Mr. T was bigger than Hulk Hogan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like size-wise.
Like, look at him in Rocky 3, dude. He was big. Yeah.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan was big as well. But again, like I'm saying, he's not Olympia big. Never was, never will be. And Chris Hemsworth, dude, Hemsworth's body in Ragnarok eclipses anything Hulk Hogan ever achieved size-wise. So I don't know why they want him to be that big. But you know what, though? I get it. Because in Hollywood and in biopics, you look better than what you really are. So with Hulk, I feel like they said, you know what, Chris? Hulk Hogan has requested that you put on more size than what you are, just to make it look better.
Yeah.
So I do imagine that a lot of that also float into that territory of fiction. Imagine, they have a biopic of Martin Luther King or something, right?
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King, let's say in real life he was like 5'10", right? 5'9", 5'8", 5'10". But in the movie, they get a beautiful 6'1" actor to portray this beautiful, strong black man who has power, and he looks like an authoritative figure. He's playing Martin Luther King, but he's 6'1". So it's that kind of thing where in movies they really do like polish you up and they suck your dick and they really like inflate you to be this thing that you never were. So with Hulk, he's definitely gonna get played by a guy who's bigger than him.
Definitely.
Even though he was never that size.
It's almost I mean, I can't really get mad at it. I mean, it's his biopic. I mean, he kind of, you could understand why he would do that. So like, yeah. But damn, dude, it's gonna be weird.
It's just interesting that it happens.
I'm gonna watch it just to see what I want to see. Chris Hemsworth be like, "Let me tell you something, brother." Like, just oh god, dude. Oh, this is gonna be ridiculous, man. Just, hey, you know what? There was something else, dude. I forgot to tell you. Bradley Cooper, at one point, like, Netflix was doing a Vince McMahon biopic, and they actually called up Bradley Cooper for, like, if he wanted to do it, and he said yes. I mean, obviously they canceled it amidst all the, you know, controversies and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been more weird. Just, I'm like, yo, out of everyone you could have picked, y'all called up Bradley Cooper? Like, for Vince McMahon.
Who would you pick?
Honestly,
who would you pick?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. Just, you know, he's got like that, like,
No.
you know, what do you mean, no? What gives? You don't think you can do it?
Carry on.
No, it's just he's got like that vibe, you know, like 2000s Vince, where he was like, yeah, fired. Like, he could definitely be that dude. But like, yeah, it just, you know.
I'd go Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson? Really?
Think about it. Look at it.
But like, Mel is...
Look at it and think about it.
Might be a bit of a...
Or maybe Mark Wahlberg. There we go, perfect choice. Mark Wahlberg. Look at the eyes. Look at the sunken eyes. Look at the eye shape. Look at the hair color. Look at that. Yeah. It's exactly that.
What the fuck? Why you hate Mark Wahlberg, man?
It's Vince.
What the fuck?
He can play a grimy individual. He just looks grimy. He looks like a retired car salesman. That's the vibe that Vince gives off, and that's the vibe that Mark Ruffalo also gives off. So just for that, and the fact that they look the same sometimes, I'm gonna give it to him.
Hey, come on, man. What the...
Look at it, and tell me you don't see it.
No, come on, dude, that ain't right. I'm looking, but like, dude, that.
That's Mark Wahlberg.
Ah, dude, just. Oh Jesus, dude.
That's Vince right there. Yeah, that would be good. Has the size as well.
Dude.
Average height. That's definitely Vince McMahon.
Okay, like back in the early days, I could give you that.
Suits.
God
Yeah,
damn.
plus you know, these days with the modern day tech, you can age him up, you can age him down, because you know Ruffalo ain't a spring chicken. So if you have like a little flashback bit scene, might want to give him a little deeper, deep fake into Wahlberg. But also with the future scenes, it can be optional. It can be deep fake or makeup. Either one would look pretty exceptional. But you can definitely find a way to go around that in terms of a look at his entire life, young to old.
My problem would be the
There are
voice,
ways
though.
around it.
Like, Mark Wahlberg's voice just doesn't quite match up, dude. Vince has that, like, raspy voice to him.
Marky Mark isn't a good actor. He knows how to play himself. He can't do accents. He's hopeless. He would need to learn. But he's homeless. Like he's truly, truly, truly hopeless when it comes to being a good actor and putting in the effort. So it wouldn't be easy. I will admit. I will concede. But God damn it, he looks like him. He deserves the chance.
Fuck's sake, man. Just... Oh, God.
That could literally be his Ray movie. That could be his Ray.
What?
Ali, could be his Malcolm X.
Man.
It could be his Oscar-winning performance.
Okay, now you're reaching for shit, man. Like, nah. Like,
this could be his Ray. We don't know. We don't know what, Mark can conjure up in his acting chops, and he delivers a thrilling, captivating performance. And he gets his first Oscar. We don't know.
Come on, man. Like, just...
But it can be his Ray. That can be his Ray. His career-defining moment. Where it's been leading to.
Oh, man.
That would be beautiful. Beautiful and poetic.
You just know we'd never hear the end of it, too, dude. Like, just...
Yeah. And, of course, the name of the movie is McMahon. Just McMahon. In nice, bold, confident text. McMahon. The story. Oscar winner right there, boy. That's an Oscar winner and a Golden Globe winner. Like, that would have gone so crazy.
Man, they always go for that shit. They always...
struggle.
Dude.
Come up. Show the success. Legacy. Easy. In the movie with him, like, inducting, I don't know, John Cena into the Hall of Fame. Kind of like how Jobs in the movie with Jobs introducing the iPod and stuff like that. And then in the other one, it was the iMac. But have it, like, end, like, in a nice way. Have it end in a memory that we all know. And, this is the day he was inducting, whatever it is.
I don't know,
But
dude.
that would be an Oscar winner for Mark.
Personally, I'd have it end with the scandals, like, just like, Vince McMahon is stepping down from his role as CEO. Just like, have it end there, just like, yes, we've caught up with the present.
That would be good. That would be good, because Vince is a grimy guy, and since it's a biopic, you also want to make him seem grimy.
Yeah.
But if this is a Vince-mandated biopic,
Okay, that's not gonna
you
happen.
won't allow
man.
that shit.
Yeah, that's not
Exactly.
gonna happen.
Like, if he's commissioning it, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It'd be better if it was an independent organization.
I mean,
Kind of like the first Jobs movie had no involvement with the Steve Jobs family, nor anyone who knew Steve in a proper sense. But the second one did. Lisa Jobs herself spoke to the Lisa actress to guide her relationship with Steve and whatnot. But things like that. Like, the second movie definitely gives us the realistic Steve, like a really realistic Steve. But the first one, he's like, oh, this is the man. This is like the myth and the genius.
yeah.
He is those things, but he's also fucked up. But with Vince's one, I feel like if he made it, he would definitely end on his high notes. Maybe the day they celebrated WrestleMania 20-something, or the day Triple H became the WWE head. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
He would end on something badass. Something we remember.
Like a good
maybe
moment
him
that.
walking into an entrance and
Yeah.
a particular year, maybe say The Rock was talking, and you just hear The Rock in the background, and he fixes his suit and then he starts strutting. And it's the exact memory you're thinking of because you've seen it with your own eyes. And then, boom, directed by so and so.
That shit would be bonkers, man. Like, just personally, like, okay, outside of scandals, if it was like a happy ending, it would just end with, like, I don't know, Vince at his desk, and it, like, pans out to read the words, like, WWE chairman, and then, like, zooms out to show, like, oh, like, WWE is now a multi-billion-dollar thing, whereas at the beginning, it was just, like, this, like, random wrestling promotion or whatever. Like, oh, full circle, like, just, in a way.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I still want to show
Yeah.
a memory.
A specific date, yeah.
Into those movie things, like
Yeah.
2009, Vince took WWE public and netted him a net worth of $1 billion. 2012, they induct so-and-so to the event. So many million watch the most WWE's history. 2013, The Rock, Fast and Furious, and whatever it is, a montage. And then maybe have like a today. Today, Vince enjoys retirement while his daughter, and whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That would work. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, it's too bad they canned it, though. I mean, I get it. You know, scandals will do that, but like, dude, it's too bad they canceled it, though.
Dude, that's really when you need a biopic, if you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
that's really when you need it.
When there's a big scandal going on, like, now we definitely need one. Shit.
That helps. It helps distract. It helps comfort. It helps entertain. It helps distract. Like,
Yep.
like, come on. Jeez, idiots. Just a bunch of idiots. Look at how big the R. Kelly one was.
Yeah.
Everyone forgot.
It was roundabout when that trial was going on. Yeah.
But then we were quickly remembered because obviously you have his vile actions in said biopic, because again they did it without his estate's help. That way they can have it be as real and honest as they want.
Mm-hmm.
So you had the R. Kelly one, surviving R. Kelly, even leaving Neverland, since they were not commissioned, mandated by either one of the families, they could be as ruthless and brutal as they wanted. But this one was literally gonna be made by them. They could have spun their story. They could have made him as this virtuous hero throughout the entire movie, and then have everyone latch on that, ignoring his real recent scandals. Like, they don't think.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, though. But you just know, like, if Vince was the one commissioning this shit, he would be calling every fucking shot. Like the director would have no control.
Like, this will have to be perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection in terms of, if people will watch that movie for the duration of the entire movie, they've forgotten about what the real Vince has done.
Yeah.
For the movie's entire run, they're transported in a world that makes them forget what McMahon has recently done, said, thought about, whatever. It takes you out of it. That's the movie he want to make.
Yeah, that's a proper biopic right there. Like that Ray movie back in the day. That movie, like, ended when he was, like, at his highest high, and it didn't, like, mention that, oh, yeah, Ray was actually abusive, and he was a dope fiend. Like, just, we're gonna skip that. Just, you know.
Yeah, like, we're gonna dance over it quite nicely, skip it back, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of the shit that we don't see that you really gotta look at.
Yeah. There was
wife beater, womanizer.
Dude, we're gonna skip that. Just, there's no point in us mentioning that. You know, at one point,
he's
a
genius, misunderstood man with a tragic past. Like that's the spin. That's the spin. Ray Charles, that's the spin. He's a genius. He's fucked up, but he's trying. He knows he's done wrong. He's resentful. He is regretful. He wants to do better. He will do better. He does do better.
Jesus,
it's a giant spin.
That's that fucking...
It's a long one.
Dude, it's a long one, too. An award-winning spin. Shit.
A spin that permeates till today.
Yep.
Oh, Ray Charles, such a good man. I loved him. I love Jimmy Fox's Ray. What a beautiful life he had. No, not really. But again, you'll never know. Because that biopic spun it for good.
Mm-hmm.
Spun it real good. Real nice. So these niggas did not think. The only reason why there's never been a good Michael Jackson biopic is because a good one would have gotten all of the attention and heat off of him for all these years. A good one wouldn't, if a good one existed in our world, right? If a good biopic existed in our world, you would not have the Leaving Neverland thingy show. It never would have been created because it would have spun his image for good. Think of Gandhi. Gandhi had that movie with Ben Kingsley in like 1990s, 1991 or something, maybe 89. That movie movie spun Gandhi. Oh, he was this. Oh, he's a pagan of hope and anti-conflict. He's such a paragon of everything good and nice about the world. No, he was a pedophile. He was a pedophile and he was a racist, particularly to black people, and regularly called us Catholics in historical texts. He was pretty much a piece of shit, and he slept with his nieces and molested people. He wasn't a good guy, but you'll never know.
Hey, but movie magic, dude.
This entire movie has changed what he is fundamentally, forever, literally forever. People use Gandhi. Disney uses Gandhi. Disney still uses Gandhi as like a significant person in the world, like a holy person. You know, like the same rank as your Mother Teresa's, your Dalai Lamas, your Mandelas. They still use Gandhi as an example. And I look at that and I go, you don't know. That's why you don't know.
You've just seen the movie.
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You just see Gandhi as an Indian Mandela, but that's not what he was. That's not what he was.
Yeah.
By a long shot. He didn't lead anyone to freedom. He wasn't a struggle stalwart. He was a lawyer who called us Kafirs and preached superiority and religions of grandeur. But just besides that everyone thinks he is. We know the truth because we actually found it. You know, we went looking for it. But a lot of the world doesn't know.
Yeah.
That was a spin story that was crafted nearly 40 years ago. That was an impeccable spin story. 40 years deep. And that's why MJ has never been able to make it.
Definitely.
He never had a good one.
Another example of a good spin story was, remember we talked about Mandel's boxing record?
Boy, I remember.
Now that was a fucking spin story.
He was boxing. Oh yeah, you have him in his, obviously his movie doesn't have that, but they make it seem like he was a very good boxer and everyone respects him. But he lost something.
No, they respect him as a person, not as a boxer, dude.
Was the only reason why the rest of the world knew he was a boxer. Because before that, it was just Africa. It was just Africa and whatnot, and maybe Namibia or whatever, Swaziland and Lesotho. But after that movie, America knew. Boy, I was seeing posters, and I used to laugh my ass off. I was seeing posters of fucking Muhammad Ali, who's this guy? Rocky Balboa, the one from the 1930s. Fuck, what's his name? The black one. Fuck. I remember his name now. I was seeing pictures, like pictures of them on one poster, and they were all posing, Mandela included, and it's like a great boxers or legendary boxers type of poster, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this nigga lost all his fights. Why are you putting him with Muhammad Ali? Why? Because it's a spin story, and everyone thought he was this good boxer. He was a boxer / politician. He did both well. He excelled in both. No, He sucked in boxing. Sucked. He really sucked. But America thinks he was like a champ. They think he was a champ. There you go, Joe Louis.
Oh, that guy.
Joe Louis, Ali, Rocky Marciano, Tyson, and Mandela. Fuck off, bro. You don't belong to me. That's the craziest one. That's the craziest one I've ever seen in my life. It's the craziest one I've ever seen. They have no idea.
He didn't even, it's better than all those other ones because he didn't even have a fucking movie. This is just spinning for the sake of spinning. Just.
Dude, for the sake of it, but no good reason.
God, dude.
Good reason.
Oh, man, this age, Jesus. We got some good spin people over here. I'll just say that much. We got some good spin people over here.
100%. Definitely.
But damn, though, dude. There's this list. Oh, shit. There was this, Dreamcast that people had for the Vince biopic back when it was still a thing. And they weren't gonna call it McMahon. Weirdly enough, they were gonna call it Pandemonium. I have no idea why. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like some of the cast was like Hugh Jackman as Vince, which like I could kind of see that because you know like Hugh Jackman has like that size, but like I'd say he's too tall.
He has like those crazy eyes.
Yeah, and Kate Blanchett was gonna be Vince's wife, Linda, and
Okay, I can see that.
you know that dude from like 13 Reasons Why, like Dylan Minnette.
I don't. That show I lost lockdown. But is that the guy who looks like Dylan O'Brien?
Dylan O'Brien. I don't know, dude. Just
He has brown hair. He's a brunette.
yeah, he has brown hair, but dude, a lot of people aren't sure of brown hair, but just I don't
He's
know.
the main one.
The main dude.
Like the Archie.
Yeah, the
Archie.
main dude of like Dylan Minnette. They wanted him to be Shane McMahon. Just like
Okay.
he's kind of small. Just
Yeah.
like that's my main gripe. He's kind of small. Just yeah.
Yeah, height-wise, he'd be pretty.
Yeah. And Anya Taylor-Joy would be Stephanie. Just
I don't know how I feel about that.
because Stephanie is like, you know, she's more like you know your Natalie Portman or whatever, but like
Exactly. She's very dainty and like model-esque.
yeah.
She looks like she is either a model or could model. I get what you mean. Yeah, I see it. And that's definitely Natalie Portman. Natalie is unironically one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, but she's just an actor.
Yeah.
She's just an actor, and she also has the height. And we've seen her. She's been acting since she was a teenager, you know, as
Yeah, she was Padme in
as mother. Yeah. Padme Amidala. Even in other movies, I think she got her first Oscar nom way before episode 1, which is crazy. So she's really been in the industry.
Yeah.
She's been working. Yeah.
This is a pretty weird choice here. They wanted Sean Bean to be Triple H. Just
No.
no. That's a hard no. Just
That doesn't work. No.
oh my god, dude. Just
This is not Harry Potter. Oh my god.
that would have been weird, dude. Just Sean Bean. Like I'm not knocking the man. He's a great actor, but he's not
Yeah.
Triple H. Just,
No, it's fine. It's fine. He looks good.
oh shit.
Yes.
Though, in all honesty, I think Hemsworth would be a better Triple H, though. Just
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like Triple H is a bad boy, but he also looks slick.
yeah. But you know, Hemsworth could definitely nail it. I mean, he's got like the hair, just Hemsworth with long hair, and bam, that's Triple H, man. Just get nothing else. Just Hemsworth with long hair, he's good. Just
Yeah.
hey, that would have been a good film. Like
He
he
even has like the neck thingy. I forgot what you call it.
what the traps,
Like bro. Like it's got the Triple H strips.
dude. This one made me laugh, dude. They were like Big Show as Andre the Giant in the. I mean, who else? Like just
Yeah.
makes sense. Who else?
It's literally a consequence. It's a consequence of his size
Yeah.
and a consequence of just the genealogy.
Because if they put literally anyone else, they'd have to use CGI, and just it's not gonna look good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh shit. Or a really fucked up bodysuit, and that never looked good. Like you can't have like your Vinnie Mac biopic with a dude dressed like fucking Big Mama's house. Just no, it's not gonna work. Oh god, dude.
Yeah, no, it's not.
For sure though. Netflix, man, canceled that shit outright. But they went ahead with the Marilyn Monroe biopic with Ana de Armas. Hey, what do you think about that? Ana de Armas is Marilyn.
Here's the thing, and I remember yesterday I was noting this. We had a conversation about Anna's accent, right? We have.
Yeah. Like, before all that, before you heard the voice, like when you heard, like, oh, Ana de Armas is going to be Marilyn, like, what'd you think?
Remember when you said that sometimes her voice seems very like Sofia Vergara-esque?
Yes.
But then she can also hide it in some roles.
Especially in, like Knives Out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if it's like actual Anna herself, Anna, the actress Anna, if she's speaking English, it sounds Sofia Vergara-esque. Cool. If she's in movies where she's purely using the Anna voice, it will also sound Sofia Vergara-esque. Cool. But if she's in a movie where she has to be something different, then she can mask her accent. The thing is, it doesn't mask itself quite well in certain instances, but there's definitely moments where she speaks English long enough to where she sounds indistinguishable from a regular American person.
But not enough that...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she doesn't sound like herself anymore, but not enough that I could say, oh, this is Marilyn Monroe. Like, this is...
Exactly. Yeah. It was in deep water. I was watching a clip. Damn, she has some movies out this year. She has 3 movies that came out this year. Wow, she's working. Good for her. She's working. But there's a movie called Deep Water that came out. I watched a video from this movie, right? There's like a short clip that they made on YouTube. And she was speaking like English. She sounds just like a regular American citizen. So she can't hide it. But I think people still kind of heard it, which is, again, it's purely psychological.
Yeah.
Because you're used to her speaking as herself, not her speaking as a character. So you forget which version you're listening to. But nah, she's fine. I like Anna. She does have a positive resemblance to Marilyn. But people were not happy with the accent, it would seem. That's the only thing that I really saw people having a gripe with. As far as characterization goes, characterizations and plot points, I'm not too certain. But everyone, or rather a large subset of people who didn't enjoy it, cited the accent.
Yeah.
But looks-wise, she looks quite like her. Like, she looks close in terms of physical appearances, also the eyes, the lips, it all like syncs up.
As close as can be, dog. I mean,
she is a good murder.
Yeah.
But again, I'll have to see it. But I won't see it in theaters. That would be amazing.
It's a Netflix movie, though.
I will see the digital. I'll see the digital HD when it comes out.
Netflix is making it, so nobody will see it in theaters. It's a Netflix film, so shit.
Oh, that's very tragic. And here I thought they gave it some respect, given it's Marilyn freaking Monroe. But hey,
I tried
like that. So yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I wanted Anna to be like. I wanted her at some point to be Sue Storm. Like, I won't lie.
Really?
She gives me Jessica Alba vibes, and for that I truly love her. At some point I really was thinking about her as Sue Storm, but also the accent did scare me because again, you can never be too sure. So I was very apprehensive because of her accent. Yeah, but she actually, she can manage.
Yeah, but Jessica Alba worked back then because, like, she could believably pass, like, as a white woman with just blonde hair. You give Ana de Armas blonde hair.
Exactly.
That's just Ana de Armas with blonde hair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh, weird choice there, man. Like, really?
Who would you have as Sue Storm?
Ana de Armas. Would I have Anna as Sue Storm? Probably not.
No, just who would you have? Who would you have?
Oh, who would I have?
Yes, sir.
Damn, that's a question, man, because it's changed over the years, but To date,
It really has.
I mean, for the longest time, it was like that guy Krasinski and his wife that are just like,
Oh, okay. He was his wife before.
yeah, for the longest time.
But now,
But now, it would really depend on who is Reed, cause like, what's the age group we're going for? Like 30s?
late 30s, early 40s. That's kind of prime Reed and Sue in any level of continuity. You know what I mean?
Okay. Actually, okay, late 30s, early 40s. Personally,
Maybe
yeah.
even like mid 30s. Mid 30s to early 40s. You could be like 34 or 41.
Okay. That, shit. What's the name of that chick who was Hit Girl in Kick-Ass? Chloe Grace Moretz. But she was like,
Chloe's young, bro.
Yeah.
Chloe's like our age, you know that?
yeah, that's the thing, dude. That's, if we were going from like,
Chloe's pretty young.
yeah.
Like she's older than us, but maybe by like a year or two. So Chloe definitely isn't that. She isn't in that age territory. Not yet. Not yet, at least.
That chick from X-Men, she was Jean Grey in the X-Men prequels.
She was?
You know, not Chloe, the other chick, like her. I would pick her. She was Jean Grey in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, Grace.
Sophie Turner, yeah.
Jonas.
Yeah, that was
Leah
it.
Jonas, Nick's wife.
What?
She's late 20s. Her and Nick are late 20s.
Yeah, but she looks the part. If we, yeah.
But also she looks quite young as well, let's be honest. She looks 19 or something.
Yeah, but I'm thinking long run, man. Like, because this is the MCU, you're gonna hang on to a role for 10 years. So it's kind of what we
Yeah, 37, 47. It can work.
Yeah.
37, 47, 48. Because even Pops, Pim Potts is played by a 48-year-old Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. She wasn't 40 when she got the role. Shit.
Yeah, because even Haley's also up there. Haley's gaining. I remember seeing her neck in like behind the scenes footage, and even in the movie, like her neck is getting kind of stringy, which is a bit concerning, given that she's a celebrity. So it would be in her best interest to get like just like plastic surgery or Botox or something. I don't know why she's letting her neck be that stringy when she's not even that old. But yeah, it's pretty stringy. Like it's pretty rough to look at sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I remember a while back you wanted Kaylee Cuoco as Sue Storm, and I was like, what?
I still do. You know,
Why?
she's beautiful. And I would marry her, and she does give me Sue Storm vibes.
Kaylee Cuoco is...
Sue is supposed to be smart. Sue is not that green. Like, okay, look. There isn't one who's dumb. No one is dumb. Right? No one is dumb. But not everyone is Reed. So, Haley does well enough as an actress to either look like the Smarty Pants or just look like Arcade. You know? When she does Harley Quinn, you can kind of tell that there's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of intelligence behind Harley Quinn. You know? There's a lot of just quick thinking and wit and strategizing and whatever to her Harley Quinn character. Like he's not like her Harley Quinn character is not dumb. You know, like it knows, say, when she's walking into a trap, right? Or when she's walking into this or that. So she's definitely playing a more smarter incarnation of her. You know, definitely not the BTAS version because she's quite dumb. So I do think that she can also pull off a moderately smart and quick-witted Storm. Very sweet. You get me, though?
Yeah, I get you. Though,
Makes sense.
yeah, I remember you saying you saw Watchmen, right?
Yeah, the series.
No, the movie.
When I saw the...
Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
That,
Times. I love that movie.
yeah, Silk Spectre. That woman could be Silk.
But I love it.
Yeah, it's a crazy movie, but like the woman who plays Silk Spectre could play a solid Sue Storm, in my opinion. That woman, like.
Yeah, but she's just a redhead Hayley Kiyoko. I see her. She was also one of the main characters in that Tom Cruise movie when he's singing. Something of love, made for love, or rock of love, or rock of
Ages. Yeah.
It's a Tom Cruise movie, and he's singing.
Yeah.
She's one of the characters, Tom Cruise's character.
So she could play, if she could play Silk Spectre, she could definitely be Sue Storm. Let me say that much, dude.
Huh?
If she could do Silk Spectre, she can do Sue Storm.
Yeah, but if Hayley can do Harley, she can do Sue Storm.
Man, just. Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. I can't. I just. Whenever I see Hayley Kiyoko, I just see Big Bang Theory, dude. It's just...
I know. But just give Harley a chance.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I see my Sue.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
See my Sue in her. Yeah.
Or they go for a total wild card and just say Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, jeez, that would be kind of too much. That would be, yeesh.
What? Quite the reaction there. What gives?
I don't know. Megan Fox just looks like sex.
She is too sexy to be Sue Storm. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and also that's not even a compliment. She just looks too much like a porn star. It would completely throw me off in the movie. I don't need that in my life. Especially in my Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
She looks like a porn star secretary.
It just opens a can of worms for like... Oh, Jesus. The thoughts running through your head. Jesus, man.
Exactly. Like, why is she touching John Krasinski like that? That's so weird.
Jesus. Man, you know, like, fucking MGK might have something to say about that shit.
Do you know that Megan drinks Machine Gun Kelly's blood?
Yeah, I heard.
They're like a fucking weirdness.
People
even blood drinking. Oh my god, like it's fucking disgusting.
People love that shit, man. People love those two. They're just like, oh, they're perfect together. Like, are they? I mean, there's that cliche of like the pretty girl and the bad boy, but like,
you know what they are?
They're both
literally 1998 Angelina Jolie and Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh.
Or whatever that guy's name is. Or
that guy,
Jones.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't
Jones
remember his
could
name.
either be the Men in Black guy.
Tommy Lee Jones is in Men in Black, but Billy Bob Thornton, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton, that guy. So they're very much that.
Yeah,
that's just what they are through and through.
Nah, you were thinking of when you brought up Tommy Lee, you were thinking of Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson. Yeah, they fit too.
Yeah, and Pamela. Like all three of them are very similar formulas. Very similar formulas, and it's. I mean, fuck it. Throw fucking Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon in the mix. Why not?
I mean,
but they're very much like that.
The pretty girl and the sketchy dude, just.
Not even sketchy, just like very, very crazy. Just like very, zip zap, zippity zap. I mean, I guess you can also kind of add Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, but not really.
Nah.
Because they were both the same level of crazy. Yeah, they were both a very similar level. Like, you can't really give it to one or the other. They both did some crazy shit.
That category of like the sexy girl and the guy who looks like he's a drug dealer. Or or is at very least on drugs. Just
Yeah, like they were both at some point just these sexy pop culture icons who could do no wrong.
yeah.
So I don't know how they spun themselves, but they did somehow.
That's like the theme of those relationships. Like, I don't know how these two got together, but here they are, and somehow it works. Just,
It works.
yeah.
For me, that was like when Robert Pattinson got with FKA Twigs. And I was like, what? Twilight? And her? What? Why? And then I watched his movies and I gave it some time. You know, his new movies. He's indie ones. You know, I gave it some time. And then before I knew it, you know, I was kind of fine with it. I was like, okay, Robert Pattinson. Interesting.
Dude.
Interesting guy.
Wait, let's throw fucking Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian into that mix, because that is...
That one I can't get used to.
That is so fucking out there, man. Like, how the...
See, the thing is, Kim Kardashian is a person guarded by vanity. You would think she's dating these hyper-handsome men, and it's just fucking Pete Davidson. Like, it's angering, if anything. Why is she with a man so ugly? He's ugly. He's not handsome, dog. Let's be honest. He's not handsome. He's never been handsome. He's ugly.
No one ever said he wasn't, dude. Like, he calls himself ugly, man. Shit.
So like, it's very infuriating when one of the most vanity-obsessed people dates an ugly man, you know? And also, for me, what it reinforces is that nothing can rule out human nature. Nothing can beat out human nature. Like, yeah, you know, we might have these ludicrous, you know, these very ludicrous standards, right? Oh, I want a man with this. But that's just your mind racing, right? That's just your mind racing. It's not real. It's fantasy. In the real world, what you're attracted to and what works for you is the most downtrodden thing ever. Hardly to the same level of what you have in your dreams, what you want in your dreams. It's like a night and day difference, right? There's a reason why beautiful women end up with ugly men. Because you can't ignore human nature, you know? Her so-called social standards must be, a man must be 6'2", and he must have a beard, and he needs to look like a model, he must have beautiful eyes, and this and this and this. And then you get to the real world, right? And she's dating a fucking ugly ass nigga from like a township school. He has like fucked up teeth. Like, he just doesn't look like her standards. And you're like, why the fuck is this thing with that? And you realize that nothing ever beats out human nature. We all just gravitate towards something because we think with our dicks and pussies and everything else. Nothing beats human nature. So Kim dating an ugly nigga, it's human nature. If a man is charming enough, girls will just concede to them. They will. Why do you think the whole funny guys trope is a thing? Funny guys are ugly guys, but they still get women. Why? Yeah. Because we, or rather they, because I'm not really a funny nigga. Plus I'm handsome as fuck. But I think
way to stay humble, man.
You know, it's being the odds, and it's the fact that it's so successful. That's the reason why Kim was with Petey, because funny niggas get bitches too.
Yeah.
They truly beat the odds. Even like fat niggas, like if you're fat but funny, you'll beat the odds. Oh, truly.
Who's pay? Yeah.
I think I got bitches because he was funny. He wasn't handsome, you know. He wasn't a Brad Pitt, you know. He wasn't a Lelo, but he got bitches because he was funny. There have to be something in his life.
Hold on.
And I guess Petey is just funny enough for Kim. But Petey also ain't funny because his humor is pretty crazy. Like, he speaks about his dad dying 9/11 and how he hates him for doing that, whatever it is. Like, yeah. But he's not funny to me, so I don't even enjoy his humor. So Kim has a very poor, just like sense of humor. because she loves that man. I would argue Kanye is funnier. Like, just Kanye acting as he does sometimes is way funnier than PD's sets, PD's Netflix specials, or whatever the fuck he has post SNL. He is not a funny man to me.
Yeah,
And that's fine.
Kanye was a fucking roller coaster, man. You can't stick around that for too long. After a while, that shit's like, nah, I can't keep putting up with this, man. This guy's nuts.
Bro, like, I have no idea how many times I've laughed at the George Bush doesn't care about black people thing. That shit made me laugh for like 5 minutes. I was like, yo, and it's the fact that Mike Myers is there.
He's like, he can't do anything.
He's like, what just happened? Did I lose my job? What the fuck is happening? Kanye's just there. Custer Chris Tucker, he's confused. Nigga, what? Yo, Kanye has so many funny moments. Even the VMA one's pretty funny. Like, it's very funny given how he goes about it.
That was a dick
it's a
move.
regular thing to do.
That was a dick move, dude. Just to rush the stage and being like, no, I'm gonna let you finish. But her video was better, dog. That was a dick move.
His social parameters don't really understand certain, like, I can't do certain things in front of people and whatnot. But yeah, Kanye is fucking funny. So yeah, the reason why Kim can get PD or why PD can get Kim is because he's a funny nigga.
Jesus,
Be a funny nigga or be handsome. There's another way.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Or just be rich. In some cases, just be rich. You know, It helps.
Money, looks, or personality, which is humor based. So you need to pick one. You know, it's nice to have two. You know, you could be funny and rich. You know, you could be handsome and rich. You could be rich and funny. You know, whatever it is. There are many combinations. You know, you could be you know, handsome and like well spoken. Yeah, like there's many combinations to it. Like there's many combinations. But the one that has sort of stood the test of time is funny niggas and beautiful women. Because I'll be walking in a mall with my girl, and no one looks at us like, how the hell did he get her? Because we're both handsome. Well, we're both beautiful. So, when comparatively speaking, when people look at you, right? If you're in public and if people look at you, it's because, my guy, you are a fucking howdy. And that was a phrase that I think got from some show, probably some like Comedy Central show, where essentially a howdy is a man who got the most hottest girl. Maybe it was a Chibino joke, I don't know. And then everyone walks past you, they go, how'd he get her? So you become a howdy.
Yep.
So, you know, howdy is, like, that's what that means. But it's the fact that you're a howdy if motherfuckers are looking at you. There are two reasons why people are like looking at you. There's a look at you of like, ooh, that's like pure admiration, you know.
Yeah.
Saying that you have a very, very, very nice fit on people are looking at you. That's one. But also, if you're not really doing anything exceptional, but people are looking at you, it's because they're wondering how the fuck you managed to get with that girl.
Yeah.
And they're wondering and they don't know why. And you, sir, are a howdy. So, dude, I see at least 3 howdies every time I leave for anything. Like, I can leave for school, for groceries.
Yeah.
I'll see 3 howdies at minimum in public where I'm going. Howdies are eating, boy. Funny niggas are eating.
Mm-hmm.
Funny. They can be either funny or rich, but they're mostly funny because they all look
Mostly
like broke
funny.
niggas. They all look like broke niggas, but they were the hot-ass girls.
Yeah.
And what I established is that howdies are really among us. They're really among us and they're very prominent.
They are. One of them was my best friend.
Crazy, right?
It's wild, dude. Like, dude, I would legit be sitting there and asking, like, how are you getting
under the same trap as well?
Yeah.
Like, I won't give guys too much of a hassle. Because, you know, sometimes you will get a girl who doesn't look like the hottest girl in, you know, the modeling agency.
Yeah.
But she'll be dating this man who looks like he should be on Vogue. Like, this man is so much more handsome than what she is beautiful. And you're like, how the hell did she, now she's a how she. There's a how he, and then there's a how she. So she's a how she now, but it's like, damn, bro. How the hell, why are you dating this kind of girl? Because you're much more handsome than her. But, how she's aren't that common, especially in South Africa. Because funny niggas, you look at us as South Africans, we're pretty funny. Like, we're actually pretty funny people. And I think with that, there are many funny niggas, in school, in unis, in workplaces and whatnot. Whatever, in life, they're just funny niggas all around us in this country. So funny niggas, there's a greater funny nigga ratio in this country than any other place, which is why funny niggas eat when it comes to just dating and relationships and
That's because it starts from a young age, like starts in class and so on. It starts from a young age, like clowning in class and so on.
Yeah. Starts in class, it starts in, what do you call this? Break time and the assembly, and then also when you guys are in public, so you guys are like, I don't know, Walkerberry or something. Remember Walkerberry?
Yeah, they tore that down.
Bro, it starts there. That's like your audition phase.
Yeah.
And then you actually meet a girl who gives you the time of day, and you talk and you talk and you talk. Before you know it, you guys are talking like it's nothing. And then eventually you guys get closer and closer, then you date. And it's like, holy shit, how the hell is he dating her? Well, he's a howdy. What do you mean? He's a honey nigga. He's just ugly as fuck. And girls don't care. They don't care. It's crazy. I think girls only care when there's an understanding that there's a lot that goes into attraction.
Yeah.
Women who are funny don't even consider for a second that their boyfriend is ugly, nor do they consider that he's handsome. They just think he's average looking. Now, what that means is the funniness sort of dulls you down. So those women are slightly inhibited. They haven't really been put into the real world to see exactly what they're doing with their time. So when they do, come back to the real world, it's like, oh, this guy's pretty ugly. That's crazy. So with a lot of pretty women who want pretty men, it's simply because they are awakened and they understand that I'm not going to date someone who's ugly just because these things are making me overlook other things. I need him to be as handsome as I am pretty. And that's literally like my goal.
Not all pretty women, but look at Scarlett Johansson and the dude from Saturday Night Live. I still don't get
exactly.
That. Like, he's not ugly, but damn.
He's conventionally handsome, but it's definitely the funniness. Because that's not Scarlett's type. When you look at it, it's not Scarlett's type. He's not an ugly man, but it's not her type. So he definitely got her by being funny.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because he's literally an SNL writer and a sketch performer. So, I guess fortunately for me, I will say for me, I won't just say for her. Because as much as she only gave me the time of day because I'm handsome, I wouldn't have given a lesser than attractive girl time of day as well. So we both wouldn't have given other people the time of day. Shout out to the both of us, not just her or myself. Because, we both made a decision to be like, well, okay, you are worth my time because you meet all of my parameters. It's not just a thing I want to gloss over because here are other things as well. So fortunately, that was both of us. I'm not going to date a girl who's not as beautiful, but she cooks like a motherfucker. Like, she makes the best biryani, that makes bani chow, she makes the best dombolo, whatever, I don't care. She might be a good dancer, good swimmer, good singer, I don't care. Nothing else will mesmerize me into choosing a person who's not as beautiful as I want them to be. Nothing, I don't care. And I think that's the beauty of men sometimes. that men are able to remove themselves from certain situations and understand some things better than women. Like, just take a woman who gets cheated on. A lot of them take their men back, they forgive. But men simply break up with their girls. So men sometimes, they definitely have a better level of processing things. Definitely. And not to be sexist, but from what I've said, they definitely are better suited for certain things.
Yeah. I mean, we can't say that, though. We can't, like, be as open about that, because they'll be like, oh, you're a misogynist, or like, hey, you hate women. Like, just no. I'm just calling it as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you really, I mean, yeah, I don't know everyone on earth, but I want the whole 9 yards. If I'm the whole 9 yards, I expect the 9 yards.
Yeah. Not gonna accept it less than. Well, either whole 9 yards or more. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
More is quite the addition, but it's quite the okay, this is good.
That's the dream, though. Shit. Damn.
So yeah. I mean, you look at a couple like Will and Jada.
Eesh. That's fucked up.
How do you think Will actually landed her? Because I've got some theories. Like, I think people sometimes fail to ignore, because again, certain things in pop culture have they sort of altered us, you know. Because again, going back to biopics sort of like wash you.
Yeah.
So I also think certain things in pop culture have kind of blinded us. Case in point, you look at Will Smith's physical appearance. A lot of pop culture harkens on his ears and I guess face shape to be like he's not really attractive, but rather he looks like Oscar from Shark Tale. You know, a lot of the time it's what it is. You know, it's Will's big ears and Shark Tale. But Will is, I guess, I don't know.
Hey, he's kind of doughy now, man.
But Will was a very handsome man in his youth. He was very handsome. He was a monk. He was handsomest man in Hollywood. You know, he was a looker in terms of black men, black celebrities, and celebrities as a whole. Girls were throwing themselves all over him, including Mariah Carey and Madonna. These are true to tale stories. Will was a handsome person. So I do think he did lure in Jada with that crux, because Will isn't a comedian. He's a comedic actor. He's not a comedian. He was never a comedian. He's a rapper. He's not a comedian. So I can't say that he won Jada by being funny. He definitely won her by looks.
Personally, I didn't see it like that. I always saw it as like it was Will who went after Jada as opposed to the other way around. Because look at how their relationship. I always saw it as Will was the one who went after her, not she went looking for him. That's just how it always looked.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, dog, you're not getting me. What I'm saying is the only reason that Will won Jada is because of his looks. So when he was doing that, he only got the time of day because of his looks. His looks carried him, not his comedic prowess or his rapping talent. Because Jada literally had a best friend since childhood who was the best rapper in the game at that point. So Will couldn't want Jada through his rap. He couldn't want Jada through his comedy chops. Because again, you do have people like Martin Lawrence and Martin Lawrence and Chris Tucker. These people are currently alive. You have people like Eddie Murphy in this time period. There is no other way that Will could have won Jada other than being a handsome actor. Not anything else in his life, since there are people who are outclassing him in many departments.
Well, being the biggest box office star of the 90s must have helped. Just saying.
Because obviously at that point Will was still releasing music. Funny enough, he was the first rap artist ever, like literally ever, to win a Grammy for rap. He is literally rap's first Grammy. That's I feel like sometimes it's an accolade that people don't even realize, right? Because again, you have Pac and Biggie. They're pretty big, but Will literally has has more accolades in music, in rap. Will has more accolades than Tupac or Biggie combined. So obviously, he is very overshadowed. I understand that, but in terms of quality, when you really listen to things, obviously Pac and Biggie are much better than Will Smith. Obviously, by a long shot. But the fact of the matter is, several people were beating him in these industries that he was also in, but he had being handsome. And again, okay, Pac was also handsome. Granted, Pac was also handsome, but Pac was short. He was short. And Will is a cool 6'2". So Will just won everything. He won. He looked handsome, he's suave, he had broad shoulders, and he was very tall. So yeah, Will won purely by his looks.
But that relationship has certainly soured, man, in the years since. Just, hey.
Exactly. Because it was just a surface level facetious piece of shit.
Dude, just the way she has just left him in the dust. God damn. That's cold, bro. Yeah. That's just cold.
Sad. It's pathetic, and through that, it's sad.
Jesus, dude. It's like, it wasn't even the slap. Before that, dude, she emasculated him, man.
Yeah, long before. It was the Alcina controversy.
Dude.
That really, because Will was an okay guy at that point. He was dead shot. He was in focus. He was kind of cool, you know. He got his cool points back after you know, he got his cool points back by being in DC, by being in this independent movie called Focus, and have it do relatively well. You know, it's a pretty good movie for an actor like yourself. Yeah. He was kind of cool again. And then the whole August thing happened, and it was like, poof, back to being an uncool loser. Like, it's so tragic. It's tragic. It's the most tragic thing I've ever seen.
It's also in like then the slap happened in the midst of his like second comeback because like dude was like getting Oscar noms. He was in the middle of a comeback and then oof, the slap shit happened.
He was in his era. He was in his like recovery era. I think his recovery era began with Suicide Squad / Focus. It was like nearly 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
And a slap just ruins it all. No, I'm lying. August Alsina happens. And then it goes from bad.
It gets
and then it goes from bad to worse with the slap.
Yep. Just, there were so many, like, people who were like, oh, like, dude, like, Jada made Will look like a bitch, and now he's trying to, like, regain his, like, toughness through this crap. Like, dude, no. Yep. That's not what happened. That's just how it looks. And it looks worse than it is. That's the worst part.
Exactly. Because also, if there was never a cheating scandal with Alcina, people never would have gone there. They simply would have gone like, Will felt like slapping him, so he slapped him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone like, well, since he lost his masculinity with the whole August thing, he felt like by slapping Chris Rock now he could regain it. But also, again, like I said, if it didn't happen, it wouldn't have gone there. The whole August thing just fucked him up completely.
Yeah.
It came back to bite him in the ass. After we all thought it was said and done, obviously he fucks up. Not a biggie, you know, not really a big deal. But what's worse is why people think he fucks up because of August.
Yeah.
Which again makes it worse on him because it makes him look like a disingenuous male.
Yeah.
Because clearly, if you got cucked before, why would this anger you that much? So simply because you got cucked, you are never warranted for any emotional reaction ever again to another black male because you couldn't do this to another one. So he is quite literally fucked for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
He can't do anything. He can't do anything to anyone.
Because they're all just going to point back to this time. Like, oh, here's, you know, angry Will coming
August?
back. Just...
Were you this tough against August?
Yeah.
Why didn't you slap? Why didn't you punch August? Why didn't you do this?
Dude, I've heard so many people out here praising Chris Rock that he didn't say anything, because he could have. Chris Rock could have said some shit while he was up there.
Yeah. But also, Will could have gone back and tackled him and started a real fight.
Yeah.
So I think he chose his words carefully. He chose his actions carefully and his words carefully.
Oh,
And Chris ain't tiny. He's 5'11", couple hundred pounds. But Will is 6'2" and like 250. You're not gonna win in a fight against Will Smith. You're not.
Yeah, he definitely made the right call. Just, people were like, oh, Chris Rock took an L. He took an L. No, he didn't. He took the high road, man. He stood there. He took the high road. He did.
He did the high road from career suicide and actually ending up in the hospital.
Dude, the whole show.
If you fight Will, you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
If you retaliate verbally against Will, your career also gets ruined. Now you're just as petty. So just keep it classy, but also you can't do shit even if you wanted to. Just remember that.
If they legit if Will had gone up and they ended up fighting, that whole show would have been a disaster. It doesn't matter what comes after.
Yeah. And when it hurts, the fact that Will's masculinity is forever damaged, because people use the example oh, but if it was The Rock who made the joke, Will wouldn't have gone. Will still would have gone. Will is a pretty unhinged person. It's kind of crazy sometimes. He still would have gone. But no one will ever believe that now because it was his lenience against others.
Nobody will ever look back and say, oh,
would have gone to The Rock. It's not, because again, with The Rock, they're the exact same height. The Rock is just slightly, bulkier, but they're different heights. The Rock isn't
slightly
on a crazy level of physically imposing over Will. He's not. Will would have slapped him. He would have.
Yeah.
Will slapped Mike Tyson in '92. He was even turned into a song. I want to fight Mike Tyson. Obviously, they made up, but he slapped Mike Tyson. Will is a pretty tough guy. He has a reputation. No one. I guess that's a consequence of the ego that Hollywood has landed in.
Really? Michael Jackson really wanted to be Spider-Man, so he bought the film rights?
Bought Marvel. No. He nearly bought Marvel because he wanted to be in Spider-Man Sam Raimi.
Yeah. No, he wanted to be Spider-Man.
Because at that point,
dude.
It was still,
it
was still the Spielberg movie. It wasn't the Raimi version yet. It was still the original concept.
Yeah.
And of course, Michael came in and he was like, guys, I want to buy a company because, I want to be Spider-Man or whatever. And they had to decline his offer, even though, of course, he did have more than enough money. But they simply declined his offer.
That movie would have been shit. I'm sorry, but that movie would have been shit.
Yeah. MJ, as much as he's a legend, would have ruined cinema forever. Because if he bought Marvel, there'd be no MCU. Where would we be these days, entertainment-wise? You would be in the gutter because of Jackson. I'm glad he didn't buy it. Jesus Christ. That would have been bad.
Good. This is another one that got me. Canon Films acquired the rights to Superman, so they made Superman 4. Not only that, but they also acquired the rights to Spider-Man, and they gave the film to this director, Tobe Hooper. He'd never read a Spider-Man comic, so he thought okay, it's a movie about this dude. All he had was a list of characters. Okay, Dr. Octopus, Electro. So he figured Spider-Man was about this dude who was half man, half spider, who has to fight these villains who are half man, half animal. There would have been a guy who's half man, half octopus, a guy who's half man, half eel. There was just this wacky shit that was just what the hell? When Stan Lee actually got a whiff of this, that Toby hadn't read a single comic, they just took it from him.
Oh, makes sense. Understandable, because honestly, what the hell are you doing to my characters, bro?
Dude.
You're gonna butcher my boy.
That movie would have been bonkers, man. Dude, this isn't Spider-Man anymore.
You can't watch you buy my painting just to throw it out in the alley. No ways. Rather don't buy it at all.
Yeah. Dude, there was talk of James Cameron, who directed Terminator 2 and the first Terminator, where at some point he was gonna direct a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. No, that's the same one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's Cameron directed, Spielberg produced.
Yeah. That would have been good. Holy shit. That would have been so good.
Yeah, I can see how it can be good.
Yeah.
But also, the script that they actually had, I read it. It was like a YouTube video. You can look it up. It's not good. It's not good. And it'll take a whole lot of rewriting to be good. The script is not good at all.
It's not the one we got in the Rami cut.
It is a much better version of it. Like the best case scenario version of it. It's the best one that we got. Cameron, unfortunately, does not know how to write Spider-Man. Unfortunately, he's a very good director, but he can't write Spider-Man. He can't.
Yeah, just stick with your blue people on your blue planet of Avatar, or whatever the fuck they're called, you know, just stick with that.
Exactly,
you know?
with their cultures of jumping on birds and other weird-ass things. Keep it, have fun, enjoy it.
Yeah, and its plethora of sequels lined up, just, Jesus Christ. You know, he's already announced Avatar 3, and Avatar 2 hasn't even come out yet.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's got a release date and everything. Like,
holy shit, that's crazy. I don't know. Avatar can never capture the box office success of its first movie. They can't.
Really?
We're in the Marvel and super. Nah, they won't.
You think
They
it's been too long?
$1 billion, right? They can definitely hook $1 billion. Make no mistake. But 2, they're not gonna see 2. I'm so sorry.
You think it's been too long between movies?
Yeah, but also that movie was only good back then because that was the best CGI at that point. That was literally the best CGI in 2009. It was. Nothing else was better. That's why the movie was so interesting and why I got so much box office. But that movie now is among regular looking CGI that's commonplace. It's commonplace now. There's no more big box office draw. Your only draw at this point would now have to be the story. You now have to rely on story as opposed to visuals. Because the visuals are not so stellar anymore. Obviously they're better, make no mistake. The visuals are better than the first movie. But at this point, we've been getting good visuals from many movies for many years. So it's not as amazing anymore. Their only draw and their saving grace will have to be in their story or in their action set pieces and whatnot and direction.
Yeah.
But they are in trouble. They're in big trouble.
Well, the movie looks good. That's for damn sure. The graphics are definitely where they should be. So all that's left is to find out the story. So far, we've heard nothing.
Exactly.
That's worrying, man. Like
the trailer is like very Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It's all about family.
But no story.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like, what's this character's name again? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah, there's no clear villain. We don't know if it's the military or it's someone else in the Avatar world. Like, we don't know.
Yeah. And that's not a good thing, dude. The fact that they're hiding that isn't a good thing. That's worrisome.
Yeah. It's a bit,
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be bad.
Successful enough to justify Avatar 3?
Yeah, like, at the very least, it might just be okay.
Yeah.
Not bad or mid, but just okay. At the very least.
I remember this thing about, like, James Cameron had been wanting to direct Alita Battle Angel since the 90s. And he'd been working on it. And then when it finally came time to do it, he dropped out so that he could get back to work on Avatar 2 and so on. And he left, I shit you not, 200 pages worth of notes to the guy that they were going to get to direct it. Like, dude, fuck off with that shit. You left. Like, why are you giving this dude notes? Like, it's not your movie anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, shit. But, bruh, and also, like, he didn't direct Terminator Dark Fate. He was just a producer. Because, again, he was busy doing Avatar 2. Like, dude, that movie made you. Like, and then like come back, direct another one. Like, nah, I'm doing Avatar 2. Like, fuck off with that shit.
So many other movies could have been better had you had a hand in them.
Yes.